We're here at Royal Enfield's Tech Centre in Bruntingthorpe and joined by Dean, Senior Engineer at Royal Enfield. And Dean, we're going to talk about a really special example of a really early Royal Enfield here, aren't we?
Yes, one of our pioneer vehicles. It's basically our first production vehicle from 1901. We bought this as a four-wheeler, so we've got one of our vehicles from 1901 here because there was no two-wheeler bikes available at the time.
Yep.
So this turned up and it sat in reception until I joined the company, and then we thought, people need to see it, it needs to be out there. Let's have a go at getting it running. And
yeah, and here it is. And we've seen you at the Banbury Run before, and you're prepping at the moment for this year's Banbury Run and the London to Brighton, aren't you?
We are. We're using this year's Banbury Run again as a shakedown for London to Brighton, because it's had an awful lot of work done to it since then, unfortunately, mechanically. But yeah, we just need to get miles on it, and as silly as it sounds, we just don't get to use it or get the miles on here.
Well, we're going to look forward to hearing it running and seeing it running and taking it out later. But let's have a look at some of the interesting details then. So starting at the back. Well,
basically we use a Didion boot-on engine, which is what they used at the time, a French proprietary engine supplier. It's 2 3/4 horsepower. This particular one, since we've been working into it, it's matching engine and frame numbers. The crankshaft, all the points and cam gear is also all serial numbered from Didion back then, and it's all matching.
So
it's incredible work.
And 2 3/4 horsepower, just so viewers are aware, that isn't the actual horsepower, that's a sort of classifications, taxation size, isn't it? So is it a 350 this, or is it?
It's supposed to be a 250.
250, sorry, yeah.
It has had work done previous years, and it measures up to be slightly larger, which has caused us an issue.
Right.
Because we can't go to the Didion club and just buy off-the-shelf parts. Everything's got to be fabricated.
So it is unique in that point of view. So, and in terms, it's quite interesting here. Then you were talking earlier. So it's air-cooled, but the top, or the head is
conventional air-cooled barrel, as you would see on any motorbike. But the cylinder head is water-cooled, working on a thermosiphon system. Basically, you've got the main header tank here.
Yep.
Through the rad into the rad and then back out.
Brilliant. So best of both worlds here. And then single carb.
We've got a single carb. That is not a standard feature. That's a later addition from the 20s that we fitted. Because originally it was supposed to be a surface carburettor, which they're problematic. They're a fire risk. They don't tend to work with modern day fuel as well. So we thought we want to use it. I know it's not period, but it makes it usable, and we can get it out on the public roads.
Right. And then we've got your advance and retard for your ignition here,
Yeah, you've got points housing here because it's coil ignition, as it was when we received it. You've got advance and retard, which is controlled by a lever.
Show us how that works, mate.
The lever's up here, so to advance it,
hang on. Yep.
You move that, and to retard it, for uphills, you just do that. So you've got variable control of it, as per any vintage bike of the era, really.
And then this is, you've got your push rod on the outside, which we always like to see, side valve, is it?
You're a camshaft driven via push rod exhaust, but the inlet is atmospheric, which is located.
So it's no push rod or no cam driving that, it's simply the suction down of the
It's simply
piston.
the suction created by the piston, drawing the valve open.
That's amazing.
And then the piston coming up and the spring closing it. So you do get a lot of spit back through the carburettor, because obviously you've got a lot of charge that's not kept in the combustion chamber and is chucked out. But
amazing. And then we've got oil feed coming in here.
Yeah, you've got manual oil feed. There's no oil pumps at all.
No.
You've got this area which contains engine oil.
Oh, okay, yep.
You've got your manual oil pump, so you'll have that up as you're running. So oil's coming out the pipe, filling this lower chamber, which will be filling with oil.
Yep.
You'll just push that down and it'll force oil down this pipe and just drops it onto the left-hand flywheel. It then relies basically on the flywheel just to chuck it around, and the piston coming down to atomise it.
Brilliant. And how often do you have to give it a squirt of oil then? Is there
I don't think there's any hard or soft rule. We're generally
every third lamppost, that'll do. Give it.
I think it's like the bikes, really. They say the quicker you go in,
the more
just
you
give it
feel
more, but
yeah,
once a mile,
yeah,
just see how it goes.
And that's quite a big pump on these, isn't it? Like I've seen flat tankers, normally they've got a little hand pump. This is a big old Yeah.
Yeah.
You can give it a big squirt with that.
You'll know if you give it too much because it does start black smoking, misfiring.
Excellent. Now, what is interesting on this is the drive mechanism, if you like. Then, so there's not a clutch as such. It's single speed, and you're in or you're out. So, can you explain what's going on here then?
You've got single speed. You've got a conventional diff, as we would know it, located in here. So, with a two tapered cones that are pushing on each other. In this position, you can see the band. That's free.
Yeah.
So the vehicle then, you pedal it like a push bike.
Yep.
To engage what would be drive and to start it, you've got a lever here.
Yep.
As you push that down, you can see that cone travelling in.
Go again.
That's it. Oh, I see. So
that's neutral. The cone's going on and it locks onto that fibre ring, and then that now has locked the diff up. So it's not actually acting as a diff. You've got solid drive from the engine then via the chains to the diff, to the centre diff which it's got.
So initially you're pedalling away, which is spinning this outer.
Initially, to get it going, you'll have that.
Yeah.
You'll go through your normal process: fuel on, oil on, flood the carburettor. You got a little decompressor, so you'll have that open. You would then pedal it as if it's a push bike to get up some speed and inertia.
Yeah.
When you think, yeah, I'm going as quick as I possibly can, you would gently try and ease that in, which then means you're pedalling the vehicle, the passenger, and now turning the engine over until it starts.
Okay. And
once it starts, keep pedalling until you feel you're having no input over it, and then
you're away.
The engine's away.
And there's no sort of speed control as such. It's sort of almost a single speed. You're all or nothing.
You've got single speed. You've got roughly, I would say, an 800 RPM rev range on it.
Right, and you have to use the revs to try and...
which is quite common with an atmospheric inlet valve.
Yeah. And what is the approximate, let's say average speed rather than top speed, should we say? What would you expect to be?
I think minimum speed of this, when it's just at idle on a flat ground, you're looking around 15 mile an hour is the minimum speed it'll go with the engine. We have been clocked at 30, 35 in a transit van when we was being filmed for the London to Brighton last year. But I'm led to believe a speed record was set by a French guy on one of these at 60 mile an hour back in 1901.
60 miles an hour,
but
brilliant.
Rather him than me.
Yeah, let's leave that to those boys back then. But then you're cruising along, we say we're doing 20 mile an hour, and then we need to slow down. What braking facilities have we got, if any?
You've got a little bit of throttle control,
so
you can throttle off. You've got minimal engine braking.
I
mean, what you have got, this is the actual brake, which is just a cast pad
straight
with buffalo hide to it.
Yeah.
And the actual brake pedal is here. So you'll press that footboard down, and as you can see, all it's doing is forcing that brake against your tyre.
Oh, wow.
That is the only retardation you've got.
And on a dry day like today, are they okay? And then on a wet day?
It's okay. On a wet day, absolutely forget it.
Yeah.
You've just got to hope nothing pulls out because you're not stopping.
Fair enough. Wonderful. So we're working forward, we've got... So this here is part of the old original...
That's part of the original surface carburettor.
Yeah.
That's all housed within there. And it also acts...
You've got the exhaust coming in there.
The exhaust comes from the engine, which is here. It'll come up, runs under the carburettor and exits through a conventional, what we'd know as a conventional tailpipe here. And it's relying on the heat from the exhaust to evaporate the fuel just so it draws off the vapours.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it's there, but we're not using it.
No,
but we do have the parts we've taken off to necessitate the fitment to that.
Yeah, so it could be recreated if you wanted to go down that traditional, slightly hazardous route.
Yeah, any work we've done to it, we have kept the original parts. I mean,
wonderful.
We had to have the seat reupholstered.
Yeah.
We have kept the original.
So engine at the rear, rigid rear.
Rigid rear.
And we're moving forward then to, well, let's do controls. What have we got going on the handlebars? And
well, the controls on the handlebars are added fitment just so we can use our carburettor.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, you've got this one, which is your conventional throttle.
Yeah.
and you've got this one, which is your mixture control.
Yeah.
It's a twin slide
Yeah.
carburettor, which I think, well, you're used to.
Yeah, I know the sort. I know the sort.
You've got advance and retard for your ignition here,
Yep.
and the controls I've just mentioned here are here for the original
If you
surface
had the original
carburettor.
setup with the carb, you'd use them there. Yeah.
Now
Got
we've
it.
proved out that yes, it works with this carburettor. There are plans to remove these and go back to these.
So they would be controlling.
So they'll be operating. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's like anything we're trying to do to it. We don't want it irreversible.
No,
What we'll do is just put something on like that, so we can use it. Yes, prove it out, and then we'll take a step back and hide it.
Excellent. Then fuel tank here. Yeah.
That's
I assume.
correct.
Yeah.
Fuel tank. Very small filler net.
That is the smallest filler net I think I've ever seen.
That's going to take a
Yeah,
while.
you can see the finger. Look at the size. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's about 13-litre tank.
Right.
It's bigger than you think.
Yeah. Well, it must be fairly economical. This, I suppose. Is it?
Yeah, we've never.
It's
Well,
only doing 800 RPM. Oh no, that's
it's
your rev
800
range.
RPM rev
Rev
range. It's-
Yeah, yeah. So it will rev a bit higher than
Yeah, I
that.
think they got to about 2,800 RPM in total,
Right.
but I may be wrong. I mean, the prototype bikes I've seen, vehicles I've seen, they've got smaller fuel tanks,
Right. So this one will get you a
The
bit
sort of
further.
that sort of size.
Yeah.
I know we got 30 mile into London to Brighton last year, and we never had to fill up, so it's relatively economical.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. And then, right, moving towards the front, then we can obviously carry a passenger in some style and comfort here.
It is, and it's strange because you've got the passenger shoved up front.
Yeah. in
So
front.
the rider's having to look over the
Oh
passenger,
yeah, of course. So what is? Yeah, the view is somewhat.
obscured. Yeah, you just
Oh,
basically
you're
look.
just above. Yeah.
Well, probably 6 inches above you, but you're looking to the sides of you, really.
Yeah. And it is. It's
very
comfortable
comfy.
here, actually, and I can feel we've got a bit of. Sorry, and I can feel we've got a bit of suspension going on at the front, then, Dean.
Yeah. The actual pillion seat or passenger seat is sprung loaded.
Yep.
You've got a set of leaf springs here, a leaf sprung here and here, and as you can see, it's
Yeah.
that is
Very
for the
nice.
seat, and you've got a leaf sprung for the axle, which is this main one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Steering then is just from the handlebars as normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as per push bike.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful at what speed you take corners and roundabouts, because there's no Ackerman handle or nothing on it. It's
Right,
just
yeah.
a parallel vertical wheel.
Yeah. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah,
But at the speeds we're going at, it should be all right.
it should be
shouldn't
fine.
Right. So we've got an electronic upgrade to the candle lights here then.
We have, the original lights were candle powered, hence why the light unit is actually sprung loaded, so it was to absorb some of the shock so the candle didn't go out.
Oh right. Yeah. Because you don't see that on acetylene lights normally, though.
No, there's no provision on these to take acetylene, so it predates that.
That's amazing.
But we've got battery operated little LED lights fitted just to satisfy,
Close. Yeah.
which we can operate via a little remote control, which is
Brilliant.
a bit of a modern upgrade.
So on the front here, we've got. This is quite important, isn't it? Between this difference between this bike and the replica one that you've got, that this is fully registered as a genuine original
Yeah,
machine,
this is
isn't it?
dated by the Vintage Car Club and
So you've got the
authenticated
plate on the front
by
yeah.
them. It is a bona fide 1901 vehicle. It's eligible for
all the major events.
all the
basically,
major
isn't it?
events.
Yeah.
That's neutral. All right, that's drive. Right. Oh, the pedals are in a funny place, aren't they? Yeah.
So, okay, is that decompressor open?
Yeah, it's open. It's all ready to go.
All right.
Driving it.
Huh?
That's only in part drive.
Oh, is it?
If not, we'll go for a bump start.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost there. Just give it a bit of throttle as you go in. Okay.
Excuse the wobbling across the road, I'm just trying to oil it. Here we go. Truth is, I can't see. There we go. Need a bit of pedal of assist there. Let's just hope they get the gate before we get there. Yeah. Just watch yourself when I go over this speed hump. You alright?
You guys had the easy job.
How was that?
We have a neutral back as well.
I think he needs a beer. What are you puffing for, Dad?
There wasn't much pedalling. When there is, there is.